Oh, we've got multiple stories regarding Xbox Series X and more today. Let's get into it. What is happening, guys? Dealer back again with yet another video talking about all of the latest and greatest when it comes to Microsoft, Xbox, PlayStation, and more. We've got all of the latest information right here and in a very quick manner, thanks largely in part to how fast I am able to talk without actually taking a breath. But hey, I do it for you. I do it for the greater good, really. Again, thanks for rocking out with me, guys. If you end up liking the video, maybe hit the like button, show a buddy or two, and subscribe for the latest and greatest. Now, Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be one of the biggest games of, well, let's face it, of all time. And really, it's going to be one of the biggest games you can play on your console this month. Yes, Cyberpunk is headed to the Xbox One, PS4, Xbox Series, and of course, PS5. Oh, not to mention the Ouya and the Etch-a-Sketch. Point is, it's on everything. And hey, there's some good news here. Now, apparently Cyberpunk has a performance mode that will run at 60 FPS on the Xbox series of consoles, or at least the Xbox Series X. This comes to us thanks to some people that have gotten their hands on the game early, and apparently the game does come with a performance mode. It does run at a higher frame rate on the Xbox Series X, and it does do this through the power of backwards compatibility, that automatic performance benefit that those consoles do bring to those games. So if you're worried about playing it at 30 FPS, apparently word is you do get to play this game at a higher 60 FPS on the Xbox or enhanced versions of this game. Just figured I would throw it out there really quick for those that are excited for Cyberpunk 2077, and if you are hyped for the title, let me know down below. Microsoft, in a recent interview that I did not get the chance to fully cover, did reiterate that they are fully about gaming, going all in, and this is followed by Todd Howard of Bethesda, aka another Microsoft studio, stressing the importance of single-player games. He says Fallout 76 let people down. Now, of course, Todd Howard, we knew that, but, you know, hey, when it comes down to it, it wasn't really your fault. It wasn't your idea to come out with a Fallout multiplayer knockoff piece of shit. Really, it was ZeniMax at the time that were trying to milk these employees for all they were worth before they sold them off to whoever was going to buy them. It was between Amazon, Google, Tencent, Microsoft. Microsoft saw that opportunity and said, hey, we got to clutch it. We can't let these guys go to Stadia. Let these games be Stadia exclusive or Amazon exclusive. You get the point. And it really sucks because Phil can't really throw these guys under the bus. He's got to kind of remain neutral. He can't say, look, we're not stealing the games from you on the other platform. We never did this to take any titles from you. But when it comes down to it, our biggest competitors on a cloud infrastructure base were buying for this game, these studios, these IP, and we wanted them for ourselves because we knew what they were going to do with them. They saw an opportunity, they seized it. And really, after having Aaron Greenberg on my podcast, when he talked about how they're letting these studios and letting these teams have the time they need to develop great games, you know, I was really assured then. But more and more stuff keeps coming out of Microsoft, out of these first-party studios, and I am very excited to see what they're working on. IP can maintain like their original development cycles, like to make these games of quality, like you said, right? Like they're unaffected. They can build the games they want to build at the scale they want to build them at. Is that something you guys kind of plan on letting them do?
Yeah, that's been our approach to how we've thought about creative teams and acquisitions, is that we're acquiring talent that's already best in class at what they make. You know, Obsidian best in class at RPGs or whatever it may be. So we let them have that creative freedom and give them the resources to go realize those visions. And you know, in many cases, we can take some of the pressure off by having things like Game Pass. You think about, you know, something like Grounded that a small team at Obsidian made, and you know, that game, I don't know how successful that game would be if it wasn't for Game Pass, you know, but millions of people playing that game, and that game is, you know, just, and they've got a lot more content coming, and, you know, the community that's growing around that game because of Game Pass, that's a win for them as a developer.
Yeah.
And so, in addition to giving them the creative freedom. So that it'll be kind of a similar kind of mindset in regards to the Bethesda teams. They know how to make games, and we'll work with them to make sure they have the resources to continue.
Personally, I cannot wait to see what Machine Games are working on. They are the ones that developed the newer iterations of Wolfenstein, the new Colossus, all that good stuff. We know Youngblood was a similar situation to Fallout 76. ZeniMax wanted to go ahead and milk these guys for all they were worth and sold them off. And you know what? I can't wait to see what they really wanted to work on this whole time, what they've really got in development. That's going to be super exciting for fans of all of these new legendary Microsoft IP. Speaking of excitement, Division fans, yes, the 7 of you that that are left, there is apparently a next generation Xbox Series X and PS5 update coming to a console near you. This does, of course, include the Series S. Anytime I mention Series X, you can pretty much assume that I'm talking about Series S when it comes to these updates. But yes, Ubisoft do officially confirm there is a next generation update in the works for Division 2 that will likely include a 60 FPS mode and more. If you look at a lot of their recent games, even Ubisoft, one of the worst optimized titles, these games are now running at double the frame rate they used to on console, which is really why we wanted to buy these new consoles anyway. If you're going to stick to 30 FPS, you might as well stick to an Xbox One X. You need that 60 FPS, and as these new RDNA 2 features are utilized, things like velocity architecture that boosts I/O performance by 40 times, adding some kind of memory multiplier, enhancing what's possible. And when it comes to visuals, things like mesh shaders. There are so many things that are not even really being used across 99% of titles right now. That's why with this system, you're going to see much more capability than many people expect as time goes on. Not to mention, it's still in its infancy GDK and APIs for several different technologies on the box. There was a reason when Microsoft said Halo Infinite was not going to ship with ray tracing back when it was originally supposed to launch in November, that we said this is not ready. The software stack when it comes to game development is not ready on Xbox Series X. We knew this when we saw and heard that ray tracing was not going to be in Halo in July of 2020. We knew this then, we know it now, it's coming out to be true. More and more developers are starting to talk about how these development kits haven't been out there for that long. They're not getting a lot out of the kits right now through GDK, and they're not even able to access some of the APIs for ray tracing, things like that. That's why you've seen some games ship with ray tracing coming at the last second or absent at launch on the Series X. There's just software that needs to catch up to the hardware. But again, I wanted to put out a video with all of the more interesting stories of the last several days, and you know what? The last one in this video is regarding PlayStation 5 and its great performance in the UK. This system is selling quite well, and we did talk about how you should not expect Xbox to win NPD either when it comes to the States, because Sony are putting most of their units in the US to be bought and sold, meaning they're going to win NPD, whereas Microsoft have, since we've talked about this, publicly spoken and said that they are actually putting a lot of their units across more territories than ever, meaning they just didn't have the volume to really sell this holiday. They talked about it over and over. They wish they had more consoles to sell. Bottom line, they did not. They could not make enough. There's kind of a pandemic and whatnot. So again, PlayStation 5 doing great. We expected it to do great. We expect to see great numbers in the US, and we expect it to win NPD all holiday, because you just can't get enough Xboxes even if they were to win. It's impossible without more consoles to sell. Sony put their stock, their volume in the States. They've got plenty overseas as well, but Microsoft have taken what little they have and they've spread it out among all of the different territories. So again, shout out to Tim Dog on that one. He talked about that on RDX a month or two ago, and good friend, good pal. So, you know, let me know your thoughts on all this stuff down below, guys. Hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button. Do appreciate it. Show a buddy or two, and of course, subscribe for all of the latest and greatest. Check out my last video. That one felt pretty good. A little overexcited, you know, maybe like this one, but it's good to be back on the mic. It's good to kind of have all of this going again after, you know, the crazy November that we've had. So again, appreciate what you guys do. Check the links out down below, sources there and more. Shout out to the patrons, the channel members. Thanks for supporting what I do, and I'm Dealer. I'll see you in the next one.